Okay, hey, I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. I see the little deal going. Eric, what's up with you, man? So Ethereum, this is a 3-hour chart. So this is back in September, and we've got 3 touches right here on the top. So this downward trend, and we've got an upward trend with multiple touches going on here. And so typically when it comes to a point, something happens. So I'm giving it first of next week, maybe even this weekend. I don't know. Before something happens, it's going to break out of this trend. If it does, it usually will. Oh, wait a second. That's stupid. I was about to buy something. That ain't going to do that. Hang on. So if it breaks out of the trend, it goes up and then turns around and comes back down, uses that as support, and then takes off again. Right? Same thing. If it breaks down, it'll go down a little bit and it'll turn around and come back up, hit that, and then head back down. I would bet Ethereum's going up, only because that's what the trend, the longest term trend is up. Bitcoin, which took a nice little beating here the past couple of days, landed perfectly. If you look at this, man, I'll go to the 1-hour chart. It did not breach a long-term trend that has been holding since September. Hit here, it hit here, it hit here, it hit here, hit some more, didn't breach, hit here, came down, bounced off it again. Yeah, so if you're not using Coinigy to do some of this trend work, then we'll do it, Eric. Let's see. OMG, I went in and started buying some more after it broke out. So it broke out. Notice, I want you to see this. If I zoom in, you'll be able to see it's pretty clear that it's not a real clear downward trend there. Not a perfect upward trend, but let's just say we can see a triangle going on. So when it did finally break, it broke up. I want you to see what it does. It breaks up, just like I showed you with that stupid arrow I was using a while ago. It breaks up, and then it comes back down, hits this trend. That is support. Now if it breaches that, then we can get back into another triangle. Alright, so that's OMG. Also the big downwards trend on OMG, it got breached right there also. Out of the way. So we were going here. Thought it got breached a little bit, but that was a fakey breaky. Break the trend line, fakey breaky. Came back down, hit it again, came back down. Finally came to a point right there. Bam, shoots out, retraces. Now we're going to see if this trend line starts holding. If it does, then we're heading back up. We don't like the big volatility. Trend is your friend. The trend's our friend. So if it does that and jukes up way down here, expect it to come back down. That's when we buy. So let's watch this trend line on OMG to the US dollar. Now I've been buying it with Bitcoin. So OMG to Bitcoin is a goofy looking chart, and since they're both move pretty quick and the dollar's relatively stable, I don't like working with OMG Bitcoin or OMG Ethereum. ABT, I hadn't even looked at it. Oh shit, it did a breakout too. Now this breakout's how many days old is it? Let's go to the daily. 1, 2. It's only 2 days old. So go back to the 3 hours. Let's see if the trend lines and breakouts did the same thing. That's not a good. That's not a good trend. Not a good trend. Maybe that one. Let's do a bottom one. Don't see it. It's not real clear, but it did finally break above this downward trend. It's just not a perfect trend. So ABT, but when it did break, it broke really hard. We grabbed the whole $1.50 move, and now look, it's going to come down. It's going to find support. I'm guessing it will find support probably right there. It looks like it's already there. Where's my horizontal line? Not very good. Trending tools right there, and I believe, yeah, that right here, this is support for ABT. So if it bounces off this, if it breaches it, it's going to go to right there. It'll go to right there. That would be the next support line, which is around 2.25. See the price over here, 2.25. Right now, I bet you it holds. There was a lot of buying right here before it finally broke down in price. Came back up, used that, and when it came back up, it couldn't break through, so it broke down again. But it didn't go further. It came down as less. I'm guessing that this break above this support, or above this resistance, when it was below it, its resistance, finally broke above it. Now it's going to become support. So I'll bet you this right here, about as low as ABT will go, and then we'll see if it starts a new trend. If it starts a new trend, we'll be looking at something. That's a pretty steep trend line to try to maintain. It probably won't maintain a trend line that steep. Yeah, it probably won't maintain a trend line that steep. It could. I mean, if I was to take this trend line right here and create a clone, did it trend? It's been that steep before, but it hasn't been that steep for very long. That's a damn steep trend line to maintain. But we'll see. We'll see. This is all the data that I have on ABT. It only goes back for me into October, because that's when Bitfinex started trading it. So that's ABG or ABT. Oh, which one did you like? Another one that you're Salt. It did some breakout too, and it's coming back down. So all of the altcoins have similar breakouts that happened. This one could be a triangular breakout, and then it'll come down and find support. But you like Neos. Let's see, where will I find Neos? Bitfinex always has tons. Let's see if I can find Bitfinex favorites. Binance, isn't that the one that they just had, like somebody's bill got locked up, someone's wallet? Here's Neo Bitcoin, Neo Ethereum, Neo US dollar. So I'm gonna put that in my list here. Firm. Go back to the markets, see if it's there now. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Come on. Where are you at? Bitfinex. Yep, Neo US dollar. Same thing, and it's already came back. Let me back this puppy up. Downward sloping trend broke out here. So let's see, that one to there, to there, to a fakey breaky, to there, Oh, man. This is so hard to see. It's not real clear, but it's there. Here's for sure 3 clean hits, 1 fakey breaky. And what did we have going on? Oh, there's the support. There's the triangle. We only had 2 clear hits. 1 clear hit, 1 bounced off of it. It's not real clear of the triangle, a big triangle. I bet you we can see it over here on a much smaller one, like from here to there, and from here to there. That was it. That shows your breakout point. And then, but once it broke this big upwards trend, I would have expected it to come and hit here, and that this be the support. But it didn't. It fell quite a bit further and found support right here. That's not the most bullish sign, but I don't. Wow, NEO US dollar. I only have how much. I don't got that much data on it. So either way, I know you like NEO, and it had a similar breakout. And see that horizontal line I'm drawing right now? It sort of went up there and found a bunch of sellers and then fell. Every time it went to this area, it found sellers. Every time it went to this area, it found sellers. But this time, it went a little higher. Remember, it's a wrecking ball. It's got to break through this wall. You know, I'm don't. Anyway, horizontal line. It's got to break through this wall. It didn't even try to break through here. It found sellers too soon. Bam, 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 bam. We found sellers. Did it get a little bit through? That don't mean anything. So now it's got to get through this 3274, 3275. That's the key. It's got to get above it and not fall below it. Let's see. I'm gonna save this little bit of chart work. NEO. Well, what is today? 11, 10, 17. Alright, I'll save that chart work, and we'll see what happens. I'll do another one of these later. Alright, brother. I'm just assuming NEOS, the one that you mentioned before. See what else was there? Bitcoin. Made. Salt. You know, Ripple, it looks like NEOS. I remember looking at Ripple earlier. So what was that? Bitfinex, NEO. Man, why is it taking so long? Let me back out or make this chart. Let's go to a 3 hour. No. 1 hour. See how it's sort of just holding steady, and then when it broke up, it came all the way back down. Well, Ripple, even though I got more data on it, looks the same way. Flat. Broke out, but then it came all the way back down instead of. See, here's the. Visualize the line right there, and visualize this line. When it finally broke out, it should have not gone down this far. So I'm not sure what that's all about. And then Monero, I like Monero, but I'm not an owner of it at the moment. I've sold everything except for a little bit of OMG and starting to accumulate Bitcoin again. And then Stellar, that's the one that just took off, man. I bought some down here right before that Ripple deal. This was just the 1st of October, right before that. No, right in this area. And then the IBM news came out, and it went poof. It took off, and holy shit, that was like, man. So I sold it. See what it did? It came right back down. I bet you. I bet I can prove my case again right here. The trend's your friend. Once you learn how to figure out how to do a little trend work. Hang on, I got a horizontal line going on. You get your trend lines going like that. Let's call it, we can do one here because it touched, but otherwise it blew past it here, maybe some bad press or something made it do a little fakey breaky, and then it started maintaining, and let's see what the breakout point was on the top side. Down. That is typical breakout. Usually it breaks out from the downward sloping trend line. See, it hit one time, 2 times, 3 times clearly. These are clear hits, and it didn't break through. When it finally broke through and it came to retrace, it hits the top of the downward trend line, and that becomes support. On those other ones we were looking at, it comes down below it and found support. Instead of finding support here, it found support lower, and that's typically bearish. So it might have a little bit more problem. NIO might have a little more problem breaking this wall because it showed some bearish, even though it's back up here now. It is back up, right. It's back up, but boy, when they sold it down below their support. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I saved that chart, and then anyway, okay. So now I'll start rambling again. This is 16 minutes and 42 seconds, and I'm gonna sign out now.